Welcome back to the Manifest You podcast. I am Shannon, and this is where we talk about all things vision board and manifestation because you deserve to live your dream life without exhausting yourself trying to get there. And today, I want to dive into one of the biggest mistakes I see people make with their vision board. And honestly, this mistake is so common that people don't realize they're making it, and they think that they're doing everything right, and they spend hours on Pinterest and Google and Canva looking for the perfect images. They print them or they cut them out of magazines. They paste them onto their board. You find the perfect spot to hang it, the one you're going to see it at more than you won't, and then nothing happens. Does any of this sound familiar to you? Does any of this resonate with you? Because vision boards are truly, to me, the most powerful tool you can use in manifestation. That's why I talk about them so much. That's why I have a whole program that teaches you not only manifestation, but using a vision board because they check all the boxes. However, a lot of times we make vision boards because they're cutesy, they seem fun. This is what we're supposed to do around the New Year's or spring or my birthday or just for a girl's day. But then 6 months later, you look at it and you think to yourself, well, that didn't work. And I can almost guarantee it's because you made the specific mistake we're going to talk about today. And to me, the worst part is that nobody tells you about it. All the vision board tutorials that you see on TikTok or this is what I do on Instagram skip right over the part that actually makes your vision board work. They act like making the vision board is it. That's just it. And it's not. So let me paint you a picture. You decided that you're making a vision board. It's your thing or it's something that you're like, yeah, I'm going to do it this year. Maybe this year is the year, so you make that vision board. Maybe you're making it because you feel stuck in life, you want something different, or you just have really big dreams and you just want to see them. Oh, that would be nice, and you get excited and you spend an afternoon going on a deep dive to do this. Maybe you even join a manifesting vision board event that has like mimosas and all the girlies and the giggles and the laughter. And here's images with like your dream house, your relationship, the career that you want, or the promotion within the career you want. The vision of you that has her life together, but in an easy way. Because I know some of y'all got your life together, but you're just tired of feeling so drained all the time. So whatever you're putting on your board, girl, you're feeling it. And you're putting it together and it's looking amazing because, at this vision board party, there's stickers and there's like glitter glue and all of this stuff. And you're feeling like, yes, this is what I want. But most importantly, you're just totally feeling the vibes, right? So yes, it is gorgeous. Honestly, girl, it is like Instagram, Pinterest worthy. And if you know me, you know I love things that are aesthetic looking. The aesthetic isn't the issue. We'll talk about the issue. The issue is that you just go back to your regular life. And sometimes you look at it and sometimes you feel this little spark like, oh yeah, that's what I want. But mostly it just becomes part of the background of your life. It's like a piece of art that you hung up 2 years ago and you don't really see it anymore. You start thinking that maybe vision boards don't work for you. Maybe they're just a whole bunch of bullshit. What is this manifesting shit? People say make these vision boards. This shit don't work. My life is exactly the same. Because the biggest mistake was thinking that making the board was the work. Thinking that a vision board is passive. That it's some kind of magic spell that as soon as I glue something on there, my life is going to change. I'm going to go to sleep and my life's going to change. Or I'm going to look at it and something's going to happen in my life. And I get it. I truly get it because that's what everybody teaches. They teach, make a vision board and watch your dreams come true. Just look at it every day, put it out there and the universe is going to deliver. But that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. Making a vision board is not the end of the process. It's the beginning. The vision board is the tool. It's the starting point. It's like a mirror showing you where you are and where you're trying to go, but the actual work, the transformation, happens after you make it. But most people never do that work. Most people make a board and then they just wait. Maybe they hang it on their wall, but then they take it off their wall because they don't really want it on their wall and they put it in their closet or they throw it under their bed. It collects dust. And then maybe a couple years later when you're decluttering, you find it, you dust it off and you're like, oh my God, okay, well, that was fun. Oh, what was I thinking back then? And that's really like the extent of it. Because waiting doesn't transform you. Waiting is passive. And manifestation, real manifestation, is not passive. It's also not forcing. That's a whole different thing. But what I want you to really hear today is that it's not passive. There's this gentle balance, okay? And that's what I teach around here. So that's why you need to keep coming back week after week so that you can manifest without putting forth a shit ton of effort, but also without being passive. Because what people do when they just hang it up and look at it is they're just waiting and wishing and hoping and crossing their fingers. And your mind looks at it, your subconscious mind, and says, well, that's not who I am. That doesn't match my internal story. Because your vision board is showing you images of a life that requires a different version of you, a version of you with different beliefs, with a different identity, your identity that comes from that subconscious mind. But there's this big gap. And you may not name it as that, but you can feel it. Like you can feel the resistance or the doubt. That's like, yeah, that would be nice, but it's not realistic for me. Or, oh, well, if that happens, that'd be wonderful, but you're just kind of in la la land about it. And the longer you passively look at it without doing anything to close the gap, the more the gap just reinforces what you don't have. See, you don't have that. And you're literally training your brain to see your dreams as separate from you, as something that's out there that other people get, but you don't get it. And that's the opposite of what a vision board's supposed to do. But sadly, that's what most of them do because people think the making it, people teach the making it, but they don't go this next step. Because I get it. You are tired. And you're like, I don't want something else to do. I already feel burnt out and overwhelmed in this life. The kids keep getting on my nerves because they're fighting with each other and I'm just trying to make dinner and I'm tired. And so we want to think, what, if I can just make this board and put this down, that it's just going to happen for me because I need that, because I'm just exhausted. But manifestation work is not things to do on your to-do list. It's belief work. It's mindset work. It is active work. It's not passive, but it's not having to execute a 5-point plan. And there's a big difference in that. Because what should happen after you make your vision board, because here's what's supposed to happen after you make your vision board. You should be using it as a tool to ask yourself, what do I need to believe for this to happen in my life? You're not looking at it harder. You're not trying to raise your vibration. You're not trying to fake being that person. You're going to be doing belief work, identity work, nervous system work to become that woman through your beliefs. Because truly all manifestation is addressing your beliefs. And when you change your belief, you change your identity. Because your subconscious is responsible for what you're experiencing, and what runs your subconscious is what you believe. So you have to work on the old belief pattern to create a new belief pattern to have a different life. And your vision board guides you to that. It guides you through the identity work. What do I need to believe for this to come forth in my life? And then you work on that belief. Well, if I believed this, what would I do? What would I say? How would I act? How would I feel? That's the work. Once again, not pretending. And that's what we don't do in this space, is pretend or fake. And that's literally why I created the Vision Lab. Because when I was working with women and we were doing manifestation work and mindset work and belief work to get them what they were working on, they would say, well, I've done vision boards in the past. That doesn't work. And visualization is so strong in manifestation because your subconscious doesn't know what's real or fake. And I even talk about that in the Vision Lab and looking at that in a different way. But that's what the Vision Lab is there for, to take you through the process that nobody else is teaching. The one between making the board and living what's on that board. Everybody is focused on the aesthetic of the board itself, but that is not where the magic is. And like I said, I love aesthetics. I'm an aesthetic person. Baby, I want my stuff to look cute. I like to use metallics, all of the things. That's very much me. And it's okay to let that creative part flow. I'm not saying you just have to make a sloppy ass board because pretty means doesn't work, but sloppy does. That's not what I'm saying at all. The aesthetics is just you being creative and enjoying it. But the magic that you're looking for is the belief work. The magic is what you do after. It's the identity work that turns your life into what you pasted. Something that actually transforms you and closes the gap to be in that life so that the life you wake up to doesn't happen because you pasted a picture, but because you became the person who has what that picture represents. And that work isn't passive, but it's not forcing. And in the Vision Lab, we distinguish between them, and I help you walk through what is the actual work, because it does get to be easy. It doesn't have to have as much effort because we're working with the 95%. We're not sitting here just churning in the 5% of our brains. That's where like the effort and the burnout and the tiredness come from, but it's an intentional practice to rewire your beliefs. It is a process, and it works, and it makes things with ease come to your life, because if you believe something, you experience that belief. So if you've made a vision board and you're feeling stuck or disappointed or like nothing's changed, this is so dumb, this is just cutesy, you didn't fail and your vision board didn't fail. And it's not that it doesn't work. You just never were taught what to do next. And you can learn that and apply that within the Vision Lab. Because I really was tired of seeing women make these gorgeous boards and feel like they were failures because it didn't magically transform their life. But it goes even deeper than that. Because in the Vision Lab, you learn exactly how to manifest without the toxic positivity and all the high vibe stuff. We just get straight to the point there. This is how you manifest. This is how manifestation works, step by step by step, not by hoping and praying, not by setting goals, like exactly the process to manifest, and then how to use the vision board to work on that activation, to work on that identity, because I do believe it is the most potent tool that you can use to manifest. But before we can turn it into that powerful tool, we have to understand that it's not about aesthetics. It's our guide. It's our blueprint. So this is what I want you to take away today. That if you've made a vision board and it's not working, it's not because manifestation's fake or you're doing it wrong or you suck at this. It's because you were taught to be passive and you were taught that making the board was enough. Your board is a tool and it only works if you use it. And using it properly means doing the internal work to transform your identity so that the life on that board becomes inevitable. Not something you're hoping for, but inevitable. And that's the difference between decoration of a vision board and a transformational one. And if you're ready to stop waiting and stop hoping and stop wishing and actually make your vision board come to life, the Vision Lab is open. You can find the details in the show notes if you want to join the lab. I want you to just keep this with you, that don't be passive. Start doing identity work. What does she have to believe? If she believed that, what would she think? How would she feel? What would she do? I'll chat with you next week. If you loved today's episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and share it with your fellow warriors. Let's create a ripple effect of liberation. Until next time, stay fierce, stay fabulous, and as always, live life unapologetically.